How you doing, Scorpio? I'm going to do your reading for your love reading for March 2022. I want to remind you too to make sure you check your other placements. This reading will basically cover Sun, Moon, and Rising, as well as Venus. But you want to look at your chart or Google Rising Sign Calculator, Moon Sign Calculator. It'll show you what your other placements are, and if this particular part of you doesn't resonate, the other ones will make sense as well. Or you just look at those for more messages. And so I'm using this John Holland Love Deck, which is basically a very generalized love deck. Covers self-love, people around you, relationships, and then I'll use these two decks right here for romantic love. And so I will read intuitively for basically this deck, and then I will give you added messages from the book as well. So what does Scorpio need to know for March 2022 love? What are the messages for Scorpio March 2022 love? What are the messages for Scorpio March 2022 love? Control. Now, when a control card comes out, it's basically saying that either you need to let go of control, or someone's trying to control you. Now, depending on which archetype you fit in, or which box you fit into in regards to control archetype, it could be saying that that you might be someone that's passive and somebody might be trying to control you. So, nobody really wants that. There needs to be a balance in between that. When you try to control, it stems from fear. So if you're trying to control things around you, trying to, or if you're passive, somebody's trying to control you, well, that's not good. Now, it can be, it can be a situation in which you're just trying to keep your emotions under control. Now, that's not a bad thing. But don't do it to the point where you're holding back so much, or you're internalizing your own emotions, because then it can manifest in some type of disease. What else does Scorpio need to know in regards to love for March 2022? What else does Scorpio need to know in regards to love March 2022? What else does Scorpio need to know in regards to love March 2022? What else does Scorpio need to know in regards to March 2022? Choose your battles. Now, that kind of makes sense. And coming together. Alright, so basically, I've already talked about the control card. Now we'll go into go more into the symbolism. But choose your battles. So it could be a fact that you've got a lot going on around you at this time, and that you're trying to control your emotions, and maybe that's a way of choosing your battles. Or it could be that you need to take control of yourself and choose your own battles. In situations like that, sometimes we can get hot-headed, especially with Scorpio, because y'all are basically ruled by Pluto and Mars. So it can be very hard for you to let go of certain things, or you might find yourself being control freaks. Depends how I look at it. It's not a judgment of any kind. It's just, it just is. It's one of those possibilities, and I've seen it within people. When that card comes out, that's basically what it's saying. So it could, manifest in different ways depending on which Scorpios I'm reading for. Now it shows you coming together. Now this could be at a time where your family's coming together, people around you's coming together, and you're trying to control your emotions because of that. There could be a lot of emotional situations around you. Scorpio, you're a water sign, so a lot of times it can be very emotional for you. Just your whole life. I mean, you live on the emotional plane, and it might be saying that it might be saying that it's time for you to get control of that and make wiser decisions. At this time, I have one scenario where I feel like there's a lot of people around you, or people that's coming together. Now there could be something in your life or whatever that's brought you together, or brought you more in reconciliation with other people in your life. It could be family, could be just friends from the past. We're not really in any retrograde cycles that I know of right now. So it may not be so much as the past. It just be people that it could just be uniting you I'm getting united or being united. But at the same time of doing that, you are mixing in with all these other different personalities that you may or may not have dealt with in the past, or that that you have dealt with, and you notice that you're a different type of person and you might clash. So that could be the whole factor when it comes to choosing your battles. If you're not doing this, if you're not choosing your battles, it's something to think about, because you could be letting your emotions get out of control and you're trying to find a control on that, or people are telling you need to control yourself. Whatever resonates with you. Like I said, if it doesn't resonate, don't make it fit. But usually when it comes to an emotional sign and you get like cards like control, and choose your battles, you're dealing with anger, you're dealing with something, there's fights coming out, it's just telling you to be cautious. If you're dealing with a partner that's like this, just make sure that you choose your battles with them, because if not, it could get really out of hand, and you don't want that. And it could be preventing, because all this could be preventing from y'all from coming together. Like if you've got a love relationship on your mind, or a partner, the partner could be a control freak, and that that person doesn't choose their battles, he or she, and so it's preventing y'all from being a couple or being together. Now, when it comes to control, the control card with the black border, it represents major arcana and regular tarot, so it's more to do with destiny, spiritual stuff. It's more that you don't. Sometimes you can say that you don't have as much control over that, depending on how you're looking at the reading. And in this case, I would say that it's the universe coming through telling you need to get control, or the universe is pulling, kind of putting a leash on you, or telling you need to do that. But it's a message. It's major arcana deals with stuff that you can't always change. So it could be that you're trying to control stuff and you can't. It's above you. It's above free will, or it's beyond free will. Now, with the violet border, that deals with like your crown chakra. It deals with the spiritual part of yourself. So it could be suggesting at this time that you delve into spiritual practices so that you can learn to choose your battles. Be wise about the situation. Come from think, because the purple deals with the crown chakra. So and or the violet, however you look at it, purple violet, very similar. It could be saying that it could be saying think before you speak, or you're thinking, and because you're using your brain, or you're coming from a higher vibration or a place of wisdom, that you are able to control yourself more. So this is number 7, so you can look up 7 in numerology for that, to let you know more about that number. But 7, sometimes it can mean, good luck, depending on how you look at it. So if you, and then with it being a violet purple card, depending on how you look at it, that would deal with the 7th chakra. So that could be the frequency and the energy of 7. And then you have, let me look at this card before I give you more off this. So you basically, it shows, I'm going to show the cards to you in case you can't see them. Just pause the video if you need to, that way you can look at it, and then you can also, if you're getting something else from this card, I would be happy to hear that in the comments. Like if you're receiving some other energy, Scorpios, you are very psychic. Some of the most gifted psychics that I've ever met in my life are Scorpios. They have Scorpio placements. They really are. You have the ability to see what's hidden. I have Scorpio in my 6th house of health and work, so it's one reason I work as a psychic, because I have the ability to peer into things or see what's hidden, and I'm also very interested in what's hidden. I've never been someone to really take people at surface, at surface level or face value. So I understand Scorpio placement. It's got 3 people. Now that could, the 3 heads, in that thing, not really people, but heads or figurines, statues, that can represent the Holy Trinity. So it could be saying that you're, completely imbalanced by doing that, or that you need to achieve balance and come from a place of wisdom. And this could be 3 guides that are with you. It just depends what resonates with you and how it looks. It could be just 3 wise people. 3 wise people around you that's telling you, choose your battles. Just make sure that you do that right now, because it's the the way this is coming out, it's preventing happiness. You know, and it could be saying also too, at a time of coming together, you know, learn to control yourself, come from a place of wisdom, because you have more people to consider than just yourself. But it basically shows you going up, you know, you could also say that you're standing, the person in that thing is standing like a warrior to 3 people that are like bigger than them. So it can be saying, you know, you could be one of those people that you know, just had that lot of fire in there. You know, Scorpio and Sagittarius are side by side in the zodiac. So depending if you're on the cusp of either one of those, if you're on the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius, you would have both of those energies present. So you might be coming off like a warrior, you know, and these people that you are, you know, coming off as, you know, you might be coming off as someone kind of like, you know, one of those small dogs that just ain't afraid of anything. You know, it could be that where, you know, you're not thinking, you're not choosing your battles, and you're coming from a, you know, you might get hurt. So whatever resonates again. All right, so with the control card again, so that's also wisdom. You know, you have, it's a masculine energy, so it's, you know, this guy basically looks kind of like an owl. It reminds me of an owl. I get owls, so, you know, maybe you have an affinity for owls. Maybe you see owls in your dream. You know, they're considered wise, but it looks like they're wearing like a, you know, like a cloak, or like, you know, the cloak or whatever that's on this person looks more like wings of an owl. And then if you look at the eyes in the background, so to me that's just telling you to think, to use wisdom, control yourself, and come from a place of, you know, basic wisdom. You know, that's the main concept. That's the key point there. It's got a gold helmet on, so the gold represents the masculine energy, as silver represents feminine. So it's also got orange and red in there, so that could be the fiery, you know, that could be the sacral and the root chakra, which represents, you know, more of the human nature, the fiery passion, Mars energy when it comes to the Scorpio. You know, with the orange energy in there, you know, that can deal with the sacral chakra also, which is the sex chakra. So it could be you know, you're trying to control the way you feel about certain things. Maybe there's you know, maybe you're just you know, Scorpios rule the sex organs, so maybe it's just very highly sexualized energy there, and you're trying to get a control over that. And perhaps, you know, maybe your partner isn't very happy with that, and so it's telling you to choose your battles. Or it could be telling them to choose their battles. It just depends. You know, cross watchers are welcome too. So be speaking to any one of you, and I'm sure it relates on some level. And the coming together card is just basically, it just shows 2 people together. You know, with the hearts. You know, there's nothing really to break down. With the control card, it's funny because I was talking about the 7th chakra, and then this is the card 7. And then again, when you look at this card, though, it's 8, which, you know, Scorpio's house in astrology, they rules the house number 8, which is death and rebirth. So you might be going through a death and rebirth, or you experienced a lot of death and rebirth in your life. People, places, things, yourself, constant change. You know, it's the thing about Scorpios is that y'all are fixed signs, but even though that you are fixed and don't necessarily like change, you are governed by this energy of death and rebirth. So it's going to come whether you like it or not. It's just the way it is. Also, Scorpio is the opposite of Taurus, so you probably have a very stubborn nature about yourself. And that could be where you're trying to control your emotions too, or that you need to. Or the Scorpio part of you could be coming out and, you know, it could be saying, Scorpio, you know, I'm hearing Scorpio, control yourself, you know, choose your battles. This is not going to help you come together with this person, you know, or this is not going to help. This is going to split you apart. This is not going to keep you together, you know. So, 8th house, 7th, crown chakra, and then this is 2, so this deals with 2 and then 2 people together. So duality, so coming together. I like how they put those numbers in this card. So, let me pull some love messages, and hopefully that was insightful. Well, first of all, let me do the book. That way I can give you the extra messages. $45. Our keywords are master, influence, accept, compassion, patience, and confidence. So, with the control card, that could be saying control yourself and have patience. In order to flourish, relationships must be fluid and free rather than overly rigid and controlled by emotional neediness or insecurity. It's important to master your emotions so that they do not rule the relationship. See, all that's about wisdom. A partnership based solely on emotion is out of balance and out of control. Self-control is the key here. Act from a combination of emotion and intellect, and your relationship will thrive and grow. Be sure that your influence is gentle and loving. This is not the time for domination. And Scorpios, I know you like to dominate. This card asks you to accept another person's uniqueness and not require that person to conform or mold to your choosing, just to make you feel more comfortable. The card also serves as a reminder to come from compassion and understanding rather than anger or frustration. Now is the time for patience, steadiness, and clear thinking. Apply these qualifiers to your relationship with others and with yourself. If you're involved with a difficult person or situation, try to look through the other person's eyes and experience what is in his heart and soul, or what his heart and soul feels. Try to see the situation from another perspective. With self-control comes confidence. Allow a situation to unfold and detach yourself from the outcome. Don't try to control it. The end result of self-control and confidence is supreme peace. Take some time to examine how control is the many aspects is affecting your relationship. So the affirmation is, I control my emotions and embrace my peace. And the traditional card for tarot for that is the strength card. So even though you're a Scorpio, you might have some Leo fire energy in there too, because Leo represents the strength card. Alright, so choose your battles. $149. I actually did a reading for somebody one time, and that card came out, and they were a fixed sign as well, and they completely overlooked that. They could not let go of their position for nothing. $149. But you'll find that no relationship that is controlled it shouldn't have to do that, because that's not a free will. Keywords: conviction, resistance, defense, and evaluate. Now, that's to choose your battles. As much as you'd like all relationships to be harmonious, this is not the case. Beliefs and opinions clash, and each person struggles to validate his or her position. Sometimes it's important to take a stand and assert your conviction. However, this attitude may be misread as aggression, and the other person may push back. You then feel the need to justify yourself. It becomes a cycle of confronting and defending, which can be exhausting and damaging to the relationship. Are you currently engaged in conflicts with others or even with yourself? If so, it's time to evaluate your situation. If you believe strongly to your position and know that the outcome will serve everyone's highest good, stand your ground. If being the victor is truly not worth the discord, consider letting go. Don't allow the desire to win prolong a battle that is unnecessary. So it's exactly, because it's, and it's dealing with love. This is a love reading, so it's dealing with love relationships. But it could be, love for a friendship or just any type of relationship, So coming together. And basically, the symbolism I was reading you is, it's telling you right. It's just, it gives you a little more in-depth. 9-9. Keywords: harmony, romance, healing, and commitment. This card is a partnership and harmony. It suggests a new romance or a deepening of an existing one. You may find that current friendship blossoms into something more, or an exciting new love steps into your life. When this card appears, it often signifies taking love to the next level. It is a time for you to make a great commitment to any of your relationships. Perhaps you find that a partner is now ready to commit more fully to the relationship, marriage, or the union, or union of some kind may be on the horizon. This is also a card of healing, of people coming together in a spirit of love and forgiveness. Are you involved in any relationships where misunderstanding or disputes have placed distance between you? Perhaps it's time to bring harmony back to those relationships by calling a truce and starting over again. So it's basically exactly what I was telling you. It's you gotta let go of the control, and you gotta just choose your battles and realize, if it's not worth it, if you can actually and that card, it shows you standing your ground. But if it's not worth it, then it could be the very thing that's keeping you apart, and so you don't need that. But in the reading I did before, which was yesterday, I did that for you, and something happened. But I got 3 cards with people with red hair. So either you have red hair, somebody has red hair, strawberry blonde, something like that. So it could be, for the ones that resonate with this, it could be that. It could be somebody in your life that has that color hair, your kids, something. But the red symbolizes fire and passion too. So same thing with strawberry, it's red. So it could just be that you changed your hair color to that, or your natural hair color is that. It just depends. So think on that, and I'll pull some romance cards for you. What are the love messages for Scorpio, March 2022? What are the love messages for Scorpio, March 2022? What are the love messages for Scorpio, March 2022? What are the love messages for Scorpio, March 2022? Yeah, and that one came out the other day too. So you see them flying out, right? Call them jumpers. So the situation that you're dealing with, whoever this is, they are from a past life, and it looks like there's, like on the card, it shows basically a King Tut's mask or an Egyptian mask. But to me, I've studied the King Tut stuff a lot, so that to me looks very much like King Tut's mask. So it could have been where this could be a karmic relationship from a past life that you've known before. That's basically what, I don't need to pull the book for this because I've studied this deck a lot, and it's not as complex as these other decks. But that could be where it's basically saying that's where it's a past life regardless. It could have been multiple lives in Egypt, but you could have an affinity for Egypt. You could be drawn to Egypt. You could be Egyptian. It could be anything, but that's where the issues, what I'm feeling is the issues that you're going through, that's where this stems from. It's something that you haven't balanced. So, you didn't balance in that lifetime, so you came in this life to try it again. So, one of you could have been a King Tut. I mean, it can be various meanings. There's a lot of Scorpios out there, so take it how it resonates. What else does Scorpio need to know for March 2022? What else does Scorpio need to know for March 2022? What are the love messages for Scorpio, March 2022? What are the love messages for Scorpio, March 2022? Friendship. So it's like I said, it could be that. It could be that, some of these, it doesn't have to be necessarily a love relationship, it could just be love in a relationship. So maybe you're just really, really good friends, or that you'd like to stay friends, or that's the suggestion. Perhaps you've been friends for a long time, or you're loving friends. It could be friends with benefits. Regardless, to me, I'm also getting, again, like the friendships around you at this time is also all past life relationships. And many of them were from Egypt or a similar culture. So just look at that card and kind of see what you get. See what we get from this other deck. What else does Scorpio need to know for March 2022 love? What else does Scorpio need to know for March 2022 love? Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and your spiritual path. So it could have been what brought y'all together. Maybe you same denomination in religion. Perhaps you're both spiritual. Maybe that's what y'all get about each other. Maybe it's that you all believe the same things, or you're all into certain things. But that's basically part of it. It could have been some of you, I'm getting you met in church, or you met, through a preacher or something like that. So just know that's one of the influences that have brought you together. That if you are looking for someone else, another partner or whatever, that's part of it. It's your belief systems, it's things like that bring you together. What else does Scorpio need to know for March 2022? Engagement. So it's basically saying your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. And it will. It will too, because if you can learn to control yourself and not control relationships, for the ones that resonates with, you will see it expanding and getting, more in tune. So, it's all relationships. A lot of people just look at relationships as like, you get together, you have kids, but it's all about spiritual growth. And more often than not, you'll attract people that are basically just mirrors to you, and you learn from them. If you're open to learning and don't see everything as like from a victim mentality, you'll realize real quick that they are just like you in a lot of different ways. So it's all about learning and growing and becoming a better person. And once you learn those lessons, a lot of times like those karmic soulmates or friendships will separate and it'll be no more. So basically, Scorpio, that's what I have for you for March 2022. And I hope everything works out. But just remember to control yourself and be wise in your decisions. There's no reason to try to control everything. And even if you're the greatest leader on earth, you're the best person. Just know that controlling yourself is far more greater than controlling other people. And if you feel like you have to control them, then know that they're not. If you are the type to control them and they are being passive, and they are just doing what you tell them, then they're not being authentic with you, because they fear, something. There's codependency there. There's something there, and if you have to control the outcome, then it's not authentic. It's not, it's not really serving you. It'd be more of an illusion. It can be one of those situations where, and I've seen people do that, where they control relationships and they think that's the way it is because their parents controlled them. So eventually the other party would get tired of it and move on, and then they're just like stuck and don't know what happened. So be wise, pay attention, observe. Like I said in the book, make sure that you try to see the other person's situation, see it through the lens of their eyes, and see if that helps you. So let me know what you think. If if it resonates, like, share, and subscribe. I've seen a lot of people just you're watching the videos or you're viewing it for like 1.2 seconds, and you don't comment, you don't do anything. So I would appreciate that, and you have a great rest of your month, and I will see you again in April. Thank you.